Naira, the Folly of Nagakhêdi, Tier 2 walkthrough.
This boss will most likely prove the most difficult one on Tier 2. To start off, you need to select which of the 3 bosses you want to fight first. We start off with the one on the right. All 3 of the bosses have tank buster skills. This means you'll have to juggle aggro between your tanks. Cristhir will apply a minus incoming healing debuff that starts at minus 20% and caps out at minus 100% on Tier 5. On top of that, your tank will also receive a dot. The first 2 tiers are manageable. Tier 3 will make your health bar ping-pong up and down. We swap tank when one of them reach Tier 2 of the debuff. Throughout the fight, Morvul Darkwings will rush through the room, similar to the lions in Dun Shuma. Being hit by their charge will knock you back. The hitbox of this attack is wider and longer than it appears to be, and it lingers for a moment after it has disappeared. Cristhir will do her first mechanic, Fan of Knives, after about 20 seconds combat time. It gives everyone a poison that should be cleansed immediately. Make sure your group composition includes AoE cleanses. She will use this skill roughly every 30 seconds. At one point, she will call upon Morroval Assassins. 2 assassins will come every time. They will rush to your healers and lock them down. They are only able to lock players in heal specs. Once they reach your healers, they will begin their assassinate skill. You then have 20 seconds to kill them before your healer will be terminated. Make sure you target and kill them. It's possible for both assassins to target the same healer. This allows one healer to continue healing without being locked. Shortly after, 4 Morroval Stalkers will arrive in stealth. When they are in range of a player, they will begin their Grey Induction, Wing Blades. If it is not interrupted by CC, each induction will give everyone a nasty wound that should quickly be cleansed. If you are not grouped up tight, it might be very difficult for your CCers to properly interrupt all of the Stalkers. Depending on your group DPS, you might encounter 1 or 2 waves of Stalkers and Assassins. Therefore, it can be handy deciding on a CC order. The Stalkers have 10 seconds cooldown on their ability, and therefore you might need to CC them twice. In our group, the Burglar took the first wave. Once the Stalkers were in close and had started their induction, the Burglar used Startling Twist. If they were not dead by the time they could cast the skill again, the Burglar would once again wait for their Grey Induction, and this time use Dust in the Eyes. Second wave, the Yellow Lore Master or Yellow Hunter would take care of. The Lore Master with Storm Lore and Bane Flare, the Hunter with Blasting Arrow and Deadly Decoy. The boss does no frontal damage, and therefore we all group up pixel perfect, making it easier to deal with her adds. Make sure your Guardian has Bastion down to break their stealth. The Bastion will also help make them group up nicely. After about 1 minute and 20 seconds combat time, the first Blood Orb will spawn. It gives everyone a room-wide dot that gradually tiers up over time. Make sure to kill it quickly. It's optional whether you want to use Oathbreaker on the first or second boss in this fight. Use it on whichever of the bosses you struggle the most with. Commander Morning applies a physical mitigation debuff, Punctured Armor, to your tank. Like the healing debuff from Cristhir, this one also starts out at minus 20% and caps out at minus 100% on Tier 5. Again, we tank swap once the tank reaches Tier 2. This debuff is also coupled with a dot, Claw Puncture. Shortly after Morning enters, he will call upon 4 armored Morvuls and 3 black Uruks. Make sure to grab aggro of them quickly and avoid frontaling your group. These 4 Morvuls will begin a Grey Induction once they reach the group, similar to those on Cristhir. Allowing them to finish their induction will knock everyone away several times. The Burglar can twist them to cancel their Grey Induction cast that knocks you back. Interrupting Shout is a very nasty attack from the Uruks. If all 3 of them cast it at the same time, it could prove fatal. Take extra care to interrupt this induction every time you see it. The attack is room-wide, so there is no avoiding it except through interrupts. After 30 seconds of fighting Morning, he will use his Weapon Snatch ability. This gives everyone a times 0.5 outgoing damage and minus 50% outgoing healing debuff. This effect can only be removed either by dying or by running to pick up a weapon. It is irrelevant which weapon you pick up, but it's a good idea to assign each group a side from which they should pick up, to avoid someone needlessly running to a crowded and empty side. You have 60 seconds to pick up your weapon before the hotspot disappears. If it is not picked up by then, the debuff will stay on you until the fight ends. We keep one tank in the middle with all the adds. At this point, healers are unable to heal much, and therefore the tank needs to be using some kind of cooldown to self-sustain until they are back. If you are slow to kill this boss, a second wave of adds might arrive. This one also includes armored Morvuls and Uruks, but on top of that, it also has trolls. It's best to avoid this second add wave altogether. Throughout the encounter, we fight near the middle of the room to ensure we're close to the blood orb when it spawns. While fighting Commander Morning, you will most likely also have to kill one blood orb. Next up is Blood Sorceress Agaris. Her Tank Buster ability, Lingering Magic, will apply a minus 20% shadow mitigation debuff to your tank that stacks all the way up to 100%. Again, we tank swap on tier 2. This debuff is also coupled with a dot. Shortly after entering the fight, Agaris will begin her 5 seconds induction, Bleed for Me. Once this starts, we group up very tight. When the induction ends, a puddle for each player will spawn underneath them. This is why we group up neatly to avoid puddles everywhere in the room. Once the puddles are dropped, move out quickly. If you are not at 100% health once the puddle drops, you will receive the Flowing Blood effect. This will permanently deal damage to you over time. The only way to get rid of it is to be healed to full, but be aware, once you are healed to full, you will drop one extra puddle. Once we have moved out of the puddles, we spread out a bit. This makes it easier to see who is targeted by her Beckon ability, also known as Life Force. Someone in the group will receive a purple eye above their head, and a green tether will be attached to them. After 6 seconds, this person will spawn a Life Force where they stand. The Life Force will heavily buff the boss if it reaches her. Therefore, we immediately run out of the group if we are targeted by this attack. Once the Life Force spawns, your CC'ers should slow it. Only the strongest slowing effect will be active. You cannot stack multiple slows. The Life Force will automatically despawn after 15 seconds. Move the boss away if it is getting too close. After a while, the puddles from Bleed for Me will despawn, and instead, animated blood will spawn. Once these slug-looking creeps reach you, they will begin an induction. Upon finishing the induction, they will explode and deal AoE damage in a wide radius, and a new puddle will spawn. Once these animated blood spawn, we again group up nicely. We then wait for them to come close and begin their inductions. They will not begin their induction until they have reached you, so allow them to come. Do not CC or slow them. The puddles from the animated blood will heal any enemy standing in it. Once they get close, it's a good idea to use movement speed buffs like Make Haste from the captain, and then sprint away once the inductions have begun. Make sure to not have ranged pets or Runekeeper stones far away from the group during this, as it is likely to attract the animated bloods, making them late to the explosion party. For the last and most difficult phase, where you fight all 3 bosses at the same time, our Guardian starts out by grabbing aggro on all bosses. Shortly after, the other tank will take aggro. Then, the Guardian leaves to get ready to grab adds. While all 3 bosses are alive, a lot of healing and defensive cooldowns are needed for the tank tanking all the bosses. The Burglar uses AoE Disable and Single Target Enrage on Agaris. The Guardian will have to watch out for interrupts on the Uruks, as this attack is room-wide. The Trolls need to be kept at least 20 meters away from the group to avoid them getting stunned by his ground slam. It is possible to daze the Trolls once, and likewise CJ them once. Roots and stuns do not work. Once the debuffers have time, they should apply damage reduction debuffs to the Uruks. In case the Uruks are not interrupted, they will at least do less damage to your team. It's very beneficial if the Guardian do not have any debuffs from the previous boss when he's left alone to tank the adds, as he will mostly be out of healing range, and all focus should go to the tank tanking all the bosses. Meanwhile, the group is nuking Agaris as hard as they possibly can with Oathbreakers and all other damage buffs. You will still encounter some of the same abilities they had when you fought them one-on-one. An added mechanic is the bats. From time to time, 2 bats will spawn. Someone in the group will be marked with the effect Bat Target. The effect looks like a white eyeball. If you are targeted by this effect, immediately move away from the group. A bat will come to you, and once you see the bat begin its induction, you move away. It will explode and apply a dot to everyone nearby. after which it also drops a puddle. The dot from the explosion is especially nasty and should be avoided at all cost. If you see a bat close to the group, immediately move away from it. One person can be targeted by both bats, however. Once the first bat reaches them and begins its induction, the second bat will change target. Pay special attention to this, as the bat might be very close to the new person, and give them very little time to react before it begins its induction and explodes, possibly near the group. During this phase, Cristhir is on a poison spree. Her fan of knives now gives a total of 3 poison effects to every player. They are slightly staggered, so make sure you have a cure order. One group might not have enough group cleanses, so they will have to use a poison potion. That's all for now. Best of luck to you and your group.